Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first panel for the Community Intercollegiate Exhibition. My name is Julia. I will be your host for the Subathon Brand and Content Creation panel. And joining me today, we are here with Isaac and Aloe Talks Esports. But I guess before we delve really into it, why don't you guys just take a second to introduce yourselves to the stream?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. I was mentioned first. My name is Isaac, or L21SAAC. I'm a Valorant, TFT, kind of all around Riot Games content creator. I'm a personality hire. I don't do anything specific like Aloe does. I don't do esports interviews. I kind of just do whatever off the dome. And yeah, that's who I am.
Yeah, I'm Anthony. Talks Esports. I make esports content about Valorant, League of Legends, and a little bit of Counter Strike from time to time. I'm a pretty new creator to this space, but I'm happy to be here, happy to be grinding, and yeah, I make just esports focused content.
Absolutely awesome. And as you guys see, we have a very wide end of the spectrum in terms of esports content creation. So a lot for you guys to kind of hear and learn and just get your overall wisdom from these guys. And I guess before we really get into the actual meat of everything, first and foremost, for both you guys, how did you kind of figure out what your content niche is?
Um, I started by just posting a lot. I was really, really lucky with my very first post ever. I kind of started when TikTok first came out. So I got kind of like the legacy algorithm, which is very nice. And the first post I ever did really, really good. Then about 60 ones after that did awfully. So it came into like honing into just I think everything that I've always posted was great, but it was learning about how people receive content that was the biggest lesson, not necessarily what you post. Like sometimes I'll scroll TikTok and see people or any short form media really and see things that are like objectively pretty funny, but they just weren't phrased or formed in a way that I enjoyed. So that was really the biggest, I think, lesson as a content creator. It wasn't what content to create, but how to get people to enjoy the content you want to create.
Yeah,
Interesting.
from
And I'll
oh sorry, yeah,
no.
for me, I mean, I had a big passion for sports and esports was definitely one of them as well, traditional and esports as well. And for me, I actually did my degree on like journalism. So sports reporting was actually something I always wanted to do. And after I finished my degree, I was like, I gotta find, something that I want to do on the side and try to get my feet into basically. And that's how I got into making esports content. I kind of just took a shot in the dark, started making content around news, around Valorant, around League, and I mean, these two esports has been something I've been following since the beginning. League in 2014 and Valorant when it first came out, and it's just kind of following my passion, experimenting new formats and different topics, and see how it goes, and just steadily growing, and that's kind of what I've been doing ever since. So yeah.
It's awesome.
Basically for the both the viewer, it kind of sounds like this was mostly just like passion was kind of what encouraged you guys to kind of find your niches and to kind of get started. If unless I'm like just kind of throwing words into your mouth.
I mean, Alice seems like it's right up his alley. Like he wanted to do something and chased it. I was more of an accident. It was a hobby that I decided to like. I just don't like whole. I don't half butt. I'm not sure if I can swear on this. I don't half butt anything. I always whole butt everything. So once I started like posting as a joke and seeing success with it, I was like, wait, no, I need to do this. Like this is now something I have to start doing. Like this isn't just like a little thing. I should be doing more of this. Yeah.
So stumbling into it versus really kind of finding your niche, which journalism, which I will say very interesting because I also have my background in journalism with this. So
Hmm.
hey, and and I guess also you guys kind of touched on it a little bit with when you introduced yourselves and talked about it, but still I'll ask anyways. What do you kind of wish someone kind of told you when it came to content creation in general?
Oh, you can start. My answer's long.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm pretty new, but I think one of the things I personally wish I did was starting earlier. I think I've always had the passion and drive to do esports content, but I was a little bit scared to do it. I was always like, "Oh, like, what if people don't like it, or what if people think I'm not good at it?" And I kind of wish, I should have started earlier. And also another thing is like, don't really care what other people say. Just do follow your passions. If you have passion for it, you just should just do it and try it. And you'll never know how successful or how well you'll be able to do it unless try. You just have to try doing it. And yeah, that's something that I would say.
Yeah. I think You actually have two very good people on this because there were two different ends of the spectrum entirely. We have like, as much as I'm serious on camera, we have like joking rage baiter who accidentally stumbled into this, who's been here for a while, and you have someone who's like super passionate, directioned, like eager, like on different sides. Actually, a very contrasting. It's actually very nice to hear. But the question was, what would you advice give someone that's like starting out? Was that the question?
Yeah, like thinking about like where you kind of were when you were first starting out, like
Yeah.
even though you kind of stumbled into it, like
Yeah. No, I think there's two real answers. One is what Aloe said is every single day you wait is exponentially harder to jump in than the day before. The scene is oversaturated, and even people who have like legacy followers and legacy content and like people like you look up to are struggling to compete against even new people or people who are just maybe they're view botting, maybe they are clip farming, maybe whatever they're doing. There's always new tech to get bigger and also limited viewers for your exposure because there's more and more people jumping in. So you should jump in any second, possible second you get the chance to jump in. And then the other flip side is just like any other career path that you choose, you should think about not the only the job you want to do, but the environment you're going to do it in, um, because you're stuck there for a while. If you want to be a talent, you have to understand you're going to surround yourself with other talent, and sometimes these people are fantastic, and sometimes people aren't. When I went to school, I would become an engineer as like my degree for civil engineering. And then I graduated, started working in engineering offices and realized that I actually don't like engineers. So the environment I was working in was very drab and boring. So I switched to construction management and now I'm on site and active, or at least I was before I became full time content. And that was like a very good lesson for me. Was I like the environment of the other job more, even though the work isn't exactly what I like to do the best. I'd rather just be somewhere that I feel more comfortable and like more intellectually stimulated for 8 hours a day than actually the job itself. So make sure this is an environment that you can foresee yourself being in. Do you want to be around other content creators? Do you want to travel a lot? Do you want to schmooze? Do you want to have to put on a persona sometimes? Do you have the battery to do that? Like make sure your capacities line up with where you actually want to end up with this. Versus someone like maybe Ala wants to be like I don't know, for example, if it's an esports caster, totally different environment. You still are very professional. You still have like a professional standard to meet. You still have to do research and you still have to like be constantly in the scene. Just make sure that you're where you are going is actually where you want to end up.
yeah, I find it really interesting. You both kind of like talked like on the aspect of like understanding and like community with like with yourselves and in terms of the content, like in terms of like okay, like make something out, like don't worry about people say, but also like sometimes like it is good to kind of worry about people are saying and thinking because you want to make sure you're in a job that you actually like, which like yes, that applies to any job, but like with
Mhm.
esports specifically, I find it very unique, especially like well not going super into it, but like the state of like esports content right now or like content creation in social media in general where it's
Mhm.
kind of like all like the drama and whatnot going on. So
Yeah.
it it's a
Well,
good sentiment.
it's kind of one of those things where like if I was an esports caster, or I wanted to report on esports news, um, there's a real world where I'd also have to dabble into like esports drama or like drama around content creators because that's where the views are. And even though it's not where I want what I want to make content on, it is something that I would probably have to like subset my content with because that's what gets views. Instead of like this player left this team, this player left this team, what about this player said a bad word? That stuff is like immensely more engaging for the average audience. And it's one of those things where like you have to kind of get to give and take. Like it's what you want to give. That's what's kind of saying is like it's either what you want to be able to create, make people like the content you create. So sometimes you have to give them content that they want to see, whether you like it or not. You know, sometimes I
It's
have to be like,
actually
"Welcome to the new Valorant bundle. I love this bundle so much. Thank you, Riot Games." I don't care, but sometimes you have to do it.
and now it's on the record he doesn't care. No, I'm
They
kidding.
know. They know. They know I don't care. Everybody knows.
Okay.
But yeah,
I
you know what
mean
I mean?
real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually the sentiment kind of carries perfectly into my next question, which I guess it is primarily for Aloe, just because the content you touch on, like with news content and commentary content. Um, and although we Isaac already kind of like touch a little bit on it now, I'm still kind of curious for you yourself, how you kind of find that balance between like what you know like works for the algorithm, what you know people want to see versus like what you want to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty funny story about this actually, because personally, I love doing esports news transfers in Valorant or in League, or if someone gets kicked off a team, that's usually something that I really enjoy, like a traditional sports reporter in that sense. But then, like what Isaac said, sometimes you have to sacrifice a little and do topics that particularly you might not want to cover because you're not really interested in it or you think it's a little bit stupid, but would draw views. I have a story about it where there was a CS2 player, it's like a semi pro, and he slapped someone on stage. I remember I was debating between like, oh my God, like I don't really want to report about this, but it is really like you never see this in esports at all. So I decided to make a video and it blew up a little bit. And, so and I wasn't really interested in it, but I had to do it. And it's just finding that balance. Like, of course, reporting the news is something I want to do, but you just got to, sacrifice a little and do the topics you don't want to do. And unexpectedly, it might blow up, or sometimes it might not work out as well, but you just got to do it and got to make those sacrifices.
It's that honestly the sentiment you just said, I feel like it's quite universal in a sense of like reporting period. And I guess it's also especially for news and commentary content period, where it's very much like sure you're not CBC or you're not CNN, but also like esports is growing and also they are gonna start looking at stuff. So you're gonna be the first one because you're already doing it. And sometimes it's gonna be stuff that it's like, ah, what? So I think that's really interesting. And I guess also now swinging back to the other end of the spectrum of content creation with Isaac, because you did mention it with construction management work.
Mhm.
I'm kind of curious, like how you kind of balance like content creation stuff alongside the construction managing job.
Yeah, so I just took a quick little break from working like for about 3 months now to do full-time content. But before that, so for like 5 years, I was managing, yeah, whether it's engineering or construction management with um, streaming, and you sacrifice. It's one of those things where like you can red pill as much as you want. You sacrifice so much. I didn't date for 4 years. I didn't hang around too many friends. I've a few very close friends. I did every waking hour was towards content or work, and it reflected. It was very easy to burn out, and it's actually I would say it's almost impossible to manage. But you just have to have the passion and drive to go through. What sucks is when that dwindles. Maybe the game goes stale. Maybe you fall off the algorithm. Those are moments where you'll actually burn out. But I promise you, you'll never burn out when you're succeeding. Like when things are good, you could sleep 2, 3, 4 hours a night. You'll wake up the next day just as motivated. It's when you feel like you're not getting rewarded for your actions. I think that goes for anything. But like there were for like 2 years, it was like I think I slept like on average during a weekday, maybe 3 or 4 hours. On the weekend, I would sleep in quite a bit, but like a weekday, 3, 4 hours. And I would wake up like so excited to do my schedule, which was like work 4 hours over lunch, edit a TikTok, work another 4 hours, come home, shower, stream 4 hours, maybe go to the gym that night. I suffered a little bit of health stuff. Like I got pretty skinny and like, I was just really punching out content, but there's only 24 hours in the day. And if you want to keep up with other people, you got to learn to delegate. And even then, you gotta have the passion for it. If you don't have the drive and the passion, it's not for you. It's not. It's actually I would say it's not possible to balance. You just have to do the best you can.
No, that makes sense, especially with how you've described like your whole
Mhm,
experience with it, especially with yeah, I guess you could say like you are a veteran with the content creation field, and I guess also kind of throwing a little bit of a curveball with this
mhm,
question towards you, Aloe, because I imagine you do interact with like not just like newer creators like yourself, but also like more like senior people into the industry where it's like maybe they say you hear similar things from them where it's like you will have to sacrifice a lot if you want to keep going. But I know for the type of content that you do, um for at least from how I understood, there's a little bit of leeway where it's not necessarily that stressful all the time, especially since you're with Cupid Esports. So I guess I'm kind of curious what your experiences are in general as like a new content creation, just so we can kind of like, you know, picking apart the differences between, staying in the scene a while versus being a little bit new.
Yeah, I mean, I think Isaac said it best. Like, regardless of any career path you choose or any passion you choose, you always gotta commit. Like everything, you need to sacrifice a decent amount to be successful in anything. And I guess like in terms of like content creation, especially on the news side, I think for me, because I also have a journalism background as well, I treat everything as like once something comes out, I gotta be on top of it. And like I may be doing something on the side, and it's like I gotta drop it and make a video on this now. Because at the end of the day, especially when it comes to esports and like news in a sense, it's usually the first person who gets it gets like the most attention. And that's just how it works in general, especially for news and not only in esports. But um yeah, I mean, like I think for me, like being a new content creator, I think for maybe some people might not have it, but for me, I do. It's like I gotta be on top of things. I gotta be passionate. I gotta get on top of what I'm doing. And I think working with Cupid Esports, I got a little bit lucky on that end. Working with an esports org this early, but I kind of put it to committing to my craft, being committed to things, and then reaching out to people, obviously, and getting a connection, getting lucky a little bit too. That's also plays a role into it. But um, I don't know. I mean, compared to Isaac, I think Isaac definitely works a little bit harder than me because
Not
you're already
anymore.
in the space.
I'm on autopilot now, but yeah, for for 5 years, yeah, not
Yeah,
anymore.
like definitely in the beginning, like when you started, you worked really hard, and I think I gotta reach to where Isaac is. Like I gotta keep committing, keep grinding. But as a new like content creator, you just gotta be on top of things and just keep working. I feel like I've said that like a million times, but that really is it. You really
I
do
think
have to keep working.
another lesson too is like, no matter how hard I worked, if I did it again today, it wouldn't work even remotely to the same success level. Like, things are tough. Like, I think I've probably accumulated, not probably, I not think I've accumulated like like I think I'm closer to 300 million views to date, and I'm still like one of these smallest fish in this pond. Like, if I go to a Valorant event, people recognize me. I'm like a D class celebrity there. If I go to like any other convention, TwitchCon, anything like that, I'm still like nothing in this scene. And I've made like pretty good money from this industry. I've objectively, I think people strive to be where I'm at, and I'm still nowhere close to where you need to be a sustainable content creator. And that's like the truth about this industry is like, life's I enjoy what I do. Life's good. Maybe if I like lowered like my lifestyle a bit, I could like meet ends. Like, I could probably live off of what I do right now, but it's like it'd be like it may barely, like maybe not actually, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people look at me and they ask, I get a lot of questions, like people ask all the time what to do and like for tips and advice. And even then, like I feel like I have so much to learn even after all this time. And there's some people who've done so much greater than I have in much less of time. And it's really just a matter of like finding your own journey and then and following it. Yours might be easier, it might be harder, it might be faster. Um, you could also just catch the right story and catch a break. Maybe maybe you're doing a newscast and you interview someone from NRG, and then NRG picks you up all of a sudden. Like, oh, this guy was a good interview, and they caught the eye of the right person. You just gotta do as much as you can and try to catch as many breaks as you can in succession. I think the rule is in succession. If you have a viral video, this like if you get 100 million views today, do nothing, and 100 million views next year the same day, it's not even close to as impactful as maybe getting 100,000 views a month over the course of the year. Like, there's a very real world that's like the possibility. It's about constant exposure and like building a wave.
Yeah, I think you should touch on a great point in terms of like the reality of like content creation, because like we always do just tend to hear like, oh, it's like Jacksepticeye and Markiplier and Mr. Beast, but it's like as you said, like it's not always sustainable, but it can be. And so I'm
Mhm.
curious, kind of like you, I know, like Isaac, you mentioned like how you have stuff on the side, and I guess out in general, like how you guys kind of navigate like the content world period, kind of knowing like This is very this is gonna flip flop a lot. I'm not gonna know what's gonna happen. This is how I can prepare for it.
All I'm saying is we all know Mr. Beast today. Like Mr. Beast is a goat and he will probably go down in some sort of like legacy. But if he stopped posting videos for literally like a month, I promise you, like people will like he won't even be on the forefront of anyone's mind. You can mention his name, like, oh yeah, Mr. Beast. But even someone of that magnitude could disappear off the face of the earth and people will forget about it like almost immediately. That's the truth about how fast you have to be. Like you have to be prepared for shit like that. So to counter it, you just got to be active all the time. And in the flip side, you just have to remember that even he can disappear. So you have to keep that as like a reality in your brain. Mr. Beast can become irrelevant.
Al, do you have anything you would like to add, I guess, from your experiences?
Yeah, I think for like as a new content creator trying to get into the space, honestly, you have to be prepared. Like, oh, like what if it doesn't work out? Or, like I think for me also like because some of my videos don't get a lot of views. Like, oh, like I think in my terms, it's like you have to learn from your mistakes in a way. But you also just have to mentally be prepared. Like, oh, like what happens? Like what can I do to stay relevant? Like what are the steps I can do? And like what Isaac said, you just have to keep working and keep showing yourself to be out there. And if you want to be in this space, you have to be active 24/7 basically. You just have to be there because the internet's a brutal place basically. Like if you take a step back like, "Hey, like I'm going to take a month break," especially as a small content creator, like you're just gonna have to grind your way back to get the same views or the same exposure that you had that you worked for before, and it's probably even harder. So you just have to just be active at all times.
It's so fast to reset. Now that I've kind of like, I know we're just going off topic and off the dome, but a tip for smaller or any content creator in general is like this is like what I've learned recently is I know you said something about your videos and it might not get many views. There's a very real chance that you never see my videos that get low views because I will take them down, re-edit them, and repost them. Or if they generally just don't go across after a couple tries, I'll delete them. But the thing is like it can destroy a lot of people's mental that like the video that I worked so hard on didn't go well. And I'm not gonna lie, it does suck. And I have high expectations. Like I expect to see good views on my videos. I will post them sometimes that like I actually like it's like it's disheartening how little views they get. But then I just have to realize like no one's judging me off those. No one's seeing them. Literally, they did not get views. Nobody saw it. Okay, we'll just go to the next one. Make a better video. Make a next video. Don't let the view numbers get you down. Like you really can't. And it's easier said than done because it still gets me down. But it's the reality is if the video didn't do good, that means no one saw it. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Take it down, re-edit it, repost it, or just move on to a new video. No one's gonna see it. Call it a day.
Yeah, I would like to piggyback because I remember like as a small creator, like I was there was one video I edited. I spent maybe like 6 or 7, oh my god, 6 or 7 hours. Uh,
Check at him. I'm kidding.
I can't
Yeah.
escape. Okay. I edited it for a while and I was like, this is going to be my best video ever. And I was so proud of it. I posted it 24 hours. I think I got 3,000 views. And then I was so disappointed. And then the next day, I made my biggest video, which was Faker getting awarded by the Korean government, like the medal. And I had no expectations for it. I was just like, oh, this is big news. But, I didn't have any thoughts. I edited it in maybe like an hour, didn't really care about it. Went to bed, woke up, and it just blew up. And I was like, okay, like sometimes you just get lucky, and sometimes your best edited video just never works out. It's just this world. It's just what
Post to
happens.
every platform as well. That's the rule too.
Yeah.
Is like I don't care if you don't use Instagram, post to it. Some people okay, maybe not Facebook. I'm not sure if Facebook's like allowed, but like everything else you should post to. My most viewed video on TikTok is not my most viewed on Instagram, not the most viewed on YouTube. I've actually had videos taken off TikTok that have hyper succeeded on Instagram, and it's just you just got to do it. You got to do it everywhere. Every media likes different media, and you just got to put it out to everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's actually really interesting that we're kind of seeing the contrast with you guys' content. Um like as we kind of like delve into it, because like I feel like essentially for Al, for instance, like a lot of it is also very reminiscent of like just the typical news cycle and how news is changing now. And while like with Isaac, like yes, obviously you like where it's a lot more of the performer aspect and also like I guess yeah, you generally just a performing aspect and having to
Mhm.
connect and reach out to people. But I guess also just to like pivot away a little bit from this topic and into the next one when it comes to more when it comes to like branding and how you kind of present yourself
Mhm.
online. I guess first and foremost for the both of you, what was kind of a thought process when it kind of came to like your overall branding and your aesthetics?
You can go first. Have you thought about this yet?
For
Or wherever you are on the
me,
camera. I don't know. For me, you're down here. I don't know.
oh, for me, I think. I mean, I keep saying I come from a journalism background, so that's my persona in a way. Uh, I kind of developed like this is like a thing in journalism. You have like a broadcaster voice, or you talk differently when you're in front of a camera. So if you meet me in person, I don't talk like how I'm talking now. I like emphasize all my words and I'm really clear. I usually don't talk like that in person. But that's just something that I've learned by doing journalism, being in front of camera and stuff like that. And I think the the personality or the brand I'm trying to have or trying to develop right now is being a reputable source and being someone you can trust in journalism, like in esports. Like, oh, like he has accurate information. He doesn't just make anything up or say anything that's like wrong or gets baited by clickbait stuff and stuff like that. Just try to be accurate and try to be that esports journalist like persona, like being the guy, I guess. So, yeah.
The guy people turn to when the news, like they want to
Mhm.
see your videos in the morning to know what's up to date with esports, like
Yep.
that.
That's the persona, I
Mhm.
guess. Yeah.
I would probably do it all over again. Like I would change up everything. I feel like I was trying to be someone that I wasn't at the very beginning of content. And while I did better views, the dissociation between who that person was and who I am was pretty bad. And it gets to points of like burnout or like man. I don't know what the word for like manicism is, like being manic, basically, where like you just get like dissociative and it becomes almost like a mental illness. And I think a lot of creators like run away with it. I caught it early, and I'm really happy now that I can say that I'm the same person I am on camera as I am off camera. Maybe the energy level's different, but like it is a bit of you're performing a little bit, but like at the end of the day, like I am who I am on and off camera, and I'm the same person. I think originally I was a little bit too like frictionous, and I think also with my frontal lobe developing at the age of 25, I do think that um when you are being a content creator, you do have to realize that you are in the public eye and there are expectations associated with that. And you are to be responsible and you are to be like a role model. Like you are to be. That in my mind, the morality is that that should be your goal. And I think originally I was a little bit too frictionist in the way I approach things and approach people and approach content. Like I don't give a fuck about this. I don't give a fuck about this. I still think there's like some sort of grounding to like not giving a fuck, but you do have to give. Sorry, I swore now. You do have to give like quite a lot of fucks. And the thing is, you should give fucks about everybody who has a stake in who you are as a person. Every other content creator, you should give a fuck about all your audience members. You should care, and you should care what people think. Should you let it get to you? No, but you do have to run feedback cycles on how you are perceived as a person because it carries on. How someone perceived you 4 years ago, they might not see you until 2 years later, the next year, the next month, whatever. They need to perceive you consistently in a positive light as often as possible, unless you're going like the kick streamer route or like whatever some of those guys are doing. But in general, like no matter what game you're doing, no matter what niche you're doing, you want to be perceived as positively as possible in like all aspects. Don't pander, but you need to be like a person that people want to like to be around, an energy that people want to absorb and a content people want to absorb. And I think that was something I fucked up a long time on. Even though I was getting views and stuff, I wasn't going the direction I wanted to be. Pivoting was painful because you lose a lot of your audience and viewers. But now I can do what I do for longer periods of time without being burnt out and not feeling disingenuous. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
my
I
no, that's
but
that's
yeah,
my Your floor's yours.
It's like, no, actually, we just keep going back and forth,
No, we
and
can
that's the
just
whole
do this
panel
for a
out.
bit. I'm good at this.
Yeah.
I can do this for a
You
while.
know,
Yeah.
sorry, can you keep going?
No,
Sorry,
honestly, it's
actually,
all
can
you. No, take it away.
no, 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 no,
Take
no,
it
no,
away.
it's okay.
No,
Can
no,
you
no.
go?
I
Can
insist.
you go?
Ladies
No,
first.
no, no,
Go,
no,
go,
no,
go.
no, no, it's okay, it's okay.
No,
Actually,
it's okay.
I have to
What's that?
go. Yeah,
What's
no, yeah,
that?
okay.
You
What?
need me?
What?
I got no.
What?
I gotta
Oh,
take. I can't. I gotta take this. I gotta
oh,
take this.
okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, can you? Yeah, thank you. All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Anyways, I guess also moving on from killing the bit. Aside of like, I guess your persona, I guess that you guys would kind of have and how you present yourselves on like social media. How about like how like relevant do you guys think it is when it comes to like oh make sure like your overall brand aesthetic in terms of like oh my profile picture has to be my face and I have to have my color brands and color schemes so I know that everything's consistent. um how important is that to you and what does that kind of look like for you?
You should, until you are a recognizable face or some sort of brand, keep your stuff consistent across all your social media and probably the same photo until you're recognizable. Don't change your profile photo. Like make sure that even the lowest intelligence person can associate you with your content no matter what platform it's on until you are somebody to care about. Like even if someone like there are people who I don't really like keep up with. I still tons of I don't want to like label anyone, but there's tons of content. Let's say even the Phase Boys, right? I don't keep up with their content, but if I see Ron's face anywhere, I know it's Ron now. That's not the same for me. That's not the same for a lot of people. So keep it the same until you can. That's all I have to say. I think overall your branding, people focus way too much on like the floof branding. Like when you're watching someone stream and there's like a cam border and the sub alerts, like those are nice. Those are bonuses though. If people aren't there to see you, they're not going to see those things. So focus on making your brand whatever you want it to be. If you want yours to be, or sorry, maybe there, if you want yours to be like authentic journalism, and you think other people are going to really like that, you are, you know what, you are that guy for the news. You are an authentic journalist. You bring excitement, or you bring whatever value you do to the news on top of the news itself. That is fantastic, and then strive for that. That's your brand. It's not the color of your profile photo or like the fucking cam border. You can have stylistic choices, but if that's your brand, that's your brand. But it's also associated with your face. So make sure that that's why I hate VTubers, but that's a whole other thing. Um, I think you should be recognizable from your face or person. If you have a singular model, that's fantastic. But like people are way better at associating themselves with a human face that you are more likely to succeed. Same thing with streaming with no cam. It's like unless you have like this super recognizable voice, like you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, not putting yourself out there. I know it can be hard. People are judgmental. People are shitty. Like I get cooked every day, all day. It's actually almost like the whole bit at this point, and I don't even know how, but it happens, and you just have to be able to like. That's part of the job. That's like saying you want to be a teacher and don't expect a kid to pee himself once in a while. Like it's gonna happen. You're gonna have to clean up some pee once in a while. It's just gonna happen. It's part of the job. You're gonna get cooked. Someone's gonna call you ugly. Someone's gonna call you whatever. Okay. They're literally named like XX Kitty Slayer XX on Twitch. Like you fucking give a shit about that? No. Lock in. You're here to make yourself what you want to be. You don't care about XX Kitty Slayer.
Is there an XX kitty slayer in
There
your
is.
life? Is
It's
that
tall, yeah. I fucking hate her. But besides that, besides that, yeah. No, they're chill. I just use them as an example because it's like such a troll name, you know what I mean? But
but I guess but Alo, do you have anything you would like to add, I guess, on this sentiment?
I mean, I think I kind of knew when I walked into this space and tried to like become like try to start my own career in this space. I knew what Isaac said, like showing your face is the most important because at the end of the day, we're like all human beings, and like it's easy to associate someone when you see someone's face. It's just human nature. So it like you if I think this is also advice, like if you want to start, you have to just be comfortable showing your face and just being like your brand is your face basically. Um and that's what I knew I had to do it, and I just stepped in. I was like, you know what? I started streaming on the side a little bit, and people always say like, "Oh my god, it's like tens, but like the budget version. Like to this day, I still don't see it.
That was
I
actually my
don't
first
look
thought when
like
I saw
him.
your video. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this guy kind of looks like if Tens reported on the news.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't see it, but like everyone, like that happens every like in comments on my TikTok videos on Instagram. It's like, oh, it's tens from Timu, and I was like, you know what? Like, it's okay.
You
Like
could lean
people,
into that and probably like I don't know how, but there's a world to lean into that. I'm starting to
I
lean into the
would.
baby no money thing right now, and it's like kind of working. I'm going as baby no rupees. It's working out pretty okay.
I think for
Don't
me, it's
laugh.
like if I ever met tens in person, if I ever had that opportunity, there's a video skit I have in mind that I really want to make, but
That's a
that's
content
down the
creator.
line.
That's a content creator. You got
That's
that.
down the
Yeah.
line. I thought about it. It's really, but basically, you just have to accept it. People are gonna say things about you, say like you look ugly, like what Isaac said, or like you look stupid, or blah 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 blah, and you just have to ignore it. But at the end of the day, if you're heading into this space, your face is your brand, and you just got to lean into like you can't unless you have infinite money, you can change your face, but why would you? You just got to do it. You just got to accept it and just do it. And whoever criticizes you, saying like you don't belong or whatever, you just have to ignore and just stick with your brand and stick with your passion.
Also,
Um,
on the flip side, as a content creator, you should consider yourself like what, or at least your goal should be. In my mind, this could be a wrong opinion, but you should consider yourself to be what like rock stars or movie stars were back in like the 70s or 60s, whatever it was, 80s. You shouldn't just limit yourself to like making video game content or whatever content you make. You can do model contracts, you can do acting. What you do on stream is a transferable skill. I started leaning out into doing like skit YouTube videos with like certain brands and organizations. I just did a photo shoot with whatever. Your brand, your face, whatever, you should invest in yourself too. I'm not saying like get plastic surgery. I'm saying invest in your health and well-being and make sure that if you're not comfortable to be on camera, that most likely speaks to other things you have to work through. Not inhuman, by the way. Like it's okay to have these things to work through, but it's part of your journey. You should do it. Like you should do it. You know what I mean? It's better for you, whether it's this job or another job or whatever you want to do in life. Just you should start doing it because your possibilities are endless. And at the end of the day, the world also favors attractive people. Whether it's like not supermodel, you just have to be like likable. And people, you're instantly more favored by everyone else. It's the sad reality of how the world works, but everyone knows it. You just you get pretty privilege. It's a thing. It's not just like a High School Musical bullshit. Like you get money, you get real money, you get real views, you get real attention from being attractive. You should do it as best you can. And
yeah,
attraction isn't just like physical. It's like it can, dude, just be like comfortable in who you are in your skin, and you will be attractive. It's not about like sexuality. It's about like the energy you bring is attractive.
yeah, I think that's a great sentiment because I feel like when people think of like their appearance, they forget about like how you're feeling, your mental well-being. That
Mhm.
goes into your appearance and that affects how you kind
It
of
translates
present
into your
yourself.
content. It translates into your
Exactly.
content. When you feel good, your content's. But what I was saying, when I was burnt out, my content just wasn't resonating with me. It resonated with people, I guess, but like it wasn't resonating with me, and it just made me deeper conflicted and more miserable. And then that became my downfall for a bit. Now that I'm happy, like I don't even care what happens. Like I could lose some Valorant games, I can get called terrible things, but like I'm so happy now that like I'm so content at least, and that doesn't matter anymore. You know?
I mean, yeah, and it makes sense too, like especially with how much of yourself is attached to the content you make and your brand, because your brand is literally you. So, like, I mean, I'm glad things are doing good for you now,
Oh,
but
thanks.
like, yeah, yeah, like,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, I get, and it is a good testament of like, how who you are very much will translate into your content persona, I guess.
Mhm.
But I guess stepping back from this section a little, or these questions a little bit, to actually go into chat for someone asked a question
Sure, of
about
course.
content. They asked, should I post long form content or short form content, and how can someone make good long form slash short form content that keeps people watching?
Um, well, the short answer is as much as you can all the time. But also, I've almost never posted long form. I think there's diminishing returns. While there is a better monetization value on it, and people do always want, like, people like long form. It's not like it's a dead scene. It's still very very viable. But as newer content creators, I think the best way to manage this is to actually choose one or the other. either be a live streamer, an active person, and just pump out short form content, or take the time and make dedicated videos. You should get good at one of the two art forms. I'm not good at long form. It takes too much of my bandwidth and not enough return value for me. But I'm really good at short form. So that's what I chose to do. But if I want to do long form right now, I still probably don't have the capacity to do it without like a proper team behind you. It's a lot. A YouTube video can take like 8 to 10, 12 hours. If it's anything less than that, it's probably not going to go well. YouTube is like, you want to hold someone's attention for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. That's a lot of real estate in someone's day. You have to make it like good, you know, or give them at least a reason to watch. So no one's going to sit through your whole Valorant VOD. You're going to have to really put some work into it.
It's like no, I'll find 2 people on Earth who will watch my 6-hour Valorant stream, VOD, everything.
It's a big ask. What do you think?
I think for at least for I don't know how true this is, but this is my thought process is as someone who's pretty new to this space, I think short form content is a better investment because it's just shorter to like it's less time to edit and in a way less effort to edit, especially because when you're starting, you're not gonna hire an editor to edit for you. You're gonna be recording. I don't write scripts, but like if you need scripts, you need to record, you need to write a script, you need to edit, and then you need to post it. And this is like everything you do by yourself, especially when you're a small creator like me. So I think short form is more time efficient uh compared to long form. Especially when you're starting out. You can pump out 2 to 3 to 4 short form videos if it's a good day for your content and it's just more efficient and easier. But then when it's long form, especially for my topic, if I make a long form video, I have to do the research. Editing takes maybe 2 to 3 times more. And there's always a chance where it just doesn't work out. Whereas short form, if you do 3 a day, maybe one will blow up and then the other two is, sometimes it's just normal. It doesn't blow up at all. But I think personally, if you're starting off, I might be wrong, but I think short form is the best way to go because it's just more time efficient. It's easier at the end of the day.
The value's there.
Yeah.
The value's there. And long form is harder to master. People are really good at it. Short
I think
form is
long.
you
Oh,
can get
sorry.
lucky. I'm just saying, you can just get lucky on a short form video. Some go well, some don't go well. But like your risk reward is less. Like a long form video, bro. If I post long form and it flops, bro, oh my god. I don't know what I would do. I actually don't know what I would do.
I think long form you need to like I've never tried long form. I've always wanted to try it, but I just didn't have the time to do it. But long form, it's hard, especially in this economy of content, I guess you can say. Long form is so hard to master now because you need to catch people's attention for the whole video. And we're in this time, like I think we all know now, like everyone is so their attention span isn't very good anymore. So people are just tend to just scroll past it or watch the first minute, and then once you lose their interest, they just leave, and it just doesn't really become successful at all. So long form is just something you need to master, and it's very difficult to. And the time efficiency value, I guess, in a way, is just not worth it right now. And if you start early, if you start right now, so
There's
yeah.
other takes. Like I have friends who do almost exclusively long form, and they will like swear by it. But it depends what kind of rooted content creator you want to be. Yeah, I think if you're starting out, it's just better to do short form.
Mhm.
Try if you're like killing it, then like yeah, start scaling, post more of them, then get an editor, then maybe long form. But yeah, it's hard to get someone who doesn't have any social basis or social proof. Um, like I wouldn't watch a person's video on YouTube that I probably don't recognize, but a topic that like is familiar to me. Like if it's a game, Valorant, TFT, whatever, I'm not gonna watch someone that I don't know. If it's like, why do cavemen speak the way they do? I'm like, oh, that's interesting enough. I can click on that. You know what I mean? It's like a fun fact. But like, or if it's like a Valorant release video, like if I really care about something new, I'll probably watch whoever's I see. But in general, I'm not clicking on someone news. And short form will make them see it. Long form is like I have to choose to see it. I think that actually that's probably like the biggest factor that I was trying to say earlier, but I said it in 17,000 words instead of just that. So
I mean, that's totally okay. It's fun to ramble anyways, and but yeah,
Mhm.
and I will piggyback a little bit with with the sentiment, because with you specifically, Aloe, I do notice like with your videos, like you do switch up the format a bit. Because I did notice like before some it was just like a half body shot, some it was like you actually switching the camera angles, doing different rooms, like trying different formats. So I guess I am kind of curious, like what how like especially when it comes to your specific niche or interest when it comes with esports news content, how do you kind of like do that, or how do you kind of figure that out in short form?
Like, can you repeat the question again? I didn't quite catch it.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, it's okay. I guess like how do you kind of keep sorry, how do you kind of like figure out how to experiment and like explore like what your content looks like with short form?
Um, I honestly, I take a lot of like I watch a lot of other people make short form or even long form content, and you kind of absorb and try to experiment with other people's styles. Not saying copy them like verbatim, obviously. Like you always want to put your own style into it, but I think it's important. I think it's important to watch other people and see what they're doing. And if you really, really like what they're doing, like with their intro style or with their jump cuts or the way they edit, like uh it's always important to take those factors and try to implement it in your own videos. And and I think at least for what I do as like a smaller content creator is I look at all the videos. I don't tend to delete the videos that flop. I like to keep them just to see like what I did right or what I did wrong. But I kind of treat it as like a database in a way. Um and see like, okay, like I tried X introduction or this way of speaking in this video. Did it do well? Did it not? And if it didn't, then either I have to adjust it or not do it anymore. I kind of just mix and match things just to see how well they do, and eventually like develop your own editing style and developing the way you talk, and that's just something that you build. If you watch my first few videos, I probably talk very different to how I talk now, and that's just something that you develop. And some of it comes from confidence, obviously, but the more and more you do it, you'll just learn more, and you know, just eventually whatever you like, you should start doing.
Yeah, I find it interesting. You both kind of although it was mentioned a little bit ago, but like you both still kind of talked about like ways of like new versus old creators, I guess you could say, like how you still find ways to kind of like grow and adapt. Where Isaac kind of said like finding opportunities and being more confident like with yourself and exploring those opportunities, while you're kind of saying, well, I here is like as I kind of grow and learn and kind of teach yourself with your little database of videos that you kind of have to kind of review everything. So I think those are really like great takeaways and really interesting points where it's kind of like there are a lot of similarities and differences with like a newcomer versus like someone who's been here for a while, if that makes sense.
It's true. And then also like what he was saying to kind of ride off it more is like you should analyze good short form videos. It's not what you think it is. Like there are such I have taught I edit half my videos ish and I have someone else edit the other half depending on like the type of video. But like I have taught this person like all of the little signals that you need to do, like constant simulation. And it's not like the video gets faster or the cuts get shorter. There is like little zooms. It's the way the text changes. It's the way the little effects go, little sound effects. Like there's so much in these videos. And that's why when someone like shows me a video and they're like, I don't know why this isn't doing well, like within like 10 seconds of the video, I can tell you probably why it didn't do well. Because even though like as I'm saying, like the concept might be funny or the video might be funny with the context, but people are consuming so much media, you have to be very, very professional with the way you're doing things. And that's why like posting is the only way you're gonna learn, and then also getting feedback. But like my average short form video has like the editing behind it. If you like look at it, it's that's why I don't post as much anymore because I've been putting more effort into the ones that I do post. And like whether I think it's a good video or not a good video, it doesn't matter. The editing in them is like severe. And it doesn't no one's gonna like recognize if you don't know, but when you consume it, your brain knows. And that's like stuff you're gonna have to like learn from somebody, ask questions, or really study videos. I'm talking like like get a video, put it in your software, and like even put a grid over it and just watch how people like as someone's talking for a prolonged period of time, watch how their camera slowly gets bigger and then goes back. Watch how like if someone gets louder, the text might get bigger. Like watch these things that signal to your brain like I really like watching this video because all those things really matter.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point to kind of raise in terms of like like when it comes to content creation. I feel like you kind of like have to put on a lot of different skills and roles that you don't expect
Mhm.
to kind of have to do right away. Like obviously with like video editing and learning like what good looks good for a camera is a little more obvious one. But I'm curious if you guys had any other skills that you found yourself learning that you weren't expecting to learn.
Oh, shit, that's a good question.
Sorry.
I
Was this,
I
that's a good
think
question. Was this in the
I,
brief? I don't know. I didn't get this one.
Oh no, sorry. I started
no.
That's
spitballing
a
because
really
you
good
guys are
question. Ali,
interesting.
hey, Anthony, can you go for me right here? I don't have anything.
Yeah, I think I can go because I'm new. And I honestly think I treat every video I post and everything I see from similar content creators or people that I do like watching, as a lesson. Like honestly, obviously, if you're already in the space like Isaac, it might be like very different. But for me, it's like I'm always absorbing new things every day. Like I scroll TikTok, I watch Instagram reels, blah 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 blah. Like it's just always a learning process for me. And I think the one of the skills, I guess you can call it that, I think I have by starting this journey, I guess that I'm going through right now, is always knowing that like what I'm doing isn't always right. Like people always can do something better than what you're doing, and it's always important as a small content creator to learn from what other people are doing and try to apply it and never just always think like, oh, whatever I'm doing, it's fine. Like I'm not gonna change this. Like I'm just gonna stick to my guns and say like what I'm doing is the best. Like that's the wrong way of looking at it as someone who's just getting into the space. Everything needs to be evolving. Whether it's the way you edit, obviously editing is a very important thing, or the way you speak, or the way you convey the information. It's just always evolving, especially like someone like me. Like I always have to try different things and not always stick to a formula.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Also,
guess
well,
Isaac.
don't limit yourself to like saying like small content creators sometimes. It can kind of put you in like a bubble. You should consider like not you, but like people should consider like always just trying to expand their bubble or their network. Like, there's no reason if you haven't already, you shouldn't like message Tyson or Tens and say like, "Yo, this is a video idea that I have. Like, would you be interested?" He's gonna see it most likely. Might not reply, but he's gonna see it. Or if you see, like, you could put it there, and then like if you're ever in the same place at the same time, like months later, send him another DM and be like, "Hey, I noticed that you're in here right now. I'm also here. If you have a free moment, maybe we could shoot this." Anything like that. Like that's how I did not a recent, but like a pretty big video with like Baby No Money. I met him somewhere completely random. Just I think it was at a club or something in Vancouver. We like shook hands and we're like, "Hey, like people say I look like you." He's like, "Oh, you kind of do." And then one day we were in the same city and I was like, "Oh, yo, like I'm here too. Like, can we shoot a video? I have this idea about this." He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing this from here to here. Come at this time." This guy is like leaps and bounds above where I'll probably ever end up as a creator. And he took the time to do it because these people are pretty normal people. Like at the end of the day, like a lot of people like are fairly no matter what size they are, like they're I wouldn't say everybody, but I'd say 50% of content creators are like pretty good decent human beings. Like they if you give them an opportunity to like make a good video, they'll take it because also you're doing the work and they know that their face is going to sell. So if you're going to do the work for a free video for them, and they gotta what shoot a video through for 5, 15, 20 minutes, maybe even less, they're gonna do it. Like the people will do it.
Yeah,
So
I
don't
find it
always
really
say like
interesting.
small content creator. You're in this pond. Like you're in this big ocean and like sharks don't always eat little fish. Like there are fish that like live symbiotically with the big sharks. You can be those things until like you grow up. Like just always consider yourself in the same pool in the same industry and don't like Like, you know where you are, but don't like limit yourself to where you are. You know what I mean? So,
But yeah, sorry for almost cutting you off, but I find it really interesting you mentioned Baby No Money specifically, 'cause I feel like he's a good example of like a big creator who is still like well known for like being a positive force within like the
mhm,
creator space. Like I
mhm,
only really am familiar with like his support for artists, but like
mhm.
I it's really cool that like I didn't know he was like reaching out to like people like beyond that. But it seems like, you know, like kind of going back to what you were saying before, Isaac, of like finding like the community, the environment, the people that you want to work with, and be in the
Mhm.
job that you want to be in. And I know we did kind of touch a little bit on, or we touch a lot more on like your own kind of like success stories, touch a little bit on the more frustrating experiences that you've had. But I still wanted to like take a moment in case maybe there was something that you wanted to share in terms of like an experience you had with your career where you were kind of like, this is terrible, like this, I hate this, but like you still chose to push through. Like, how did you kind of like navigate that?
Um, Taking controversy for stuff that you personally don't disagree with. The internet's full of opinions, and some people are radical and some people aren't. And sometimes even the most like minute things like aren't that radical. Everyone has very different perspectives, and everyone led their very different lives. And it's very important to like understand that. But you don't, like I said, I kind of, it's kind of hypocritical to what I said earlier, but you actually don't have to give a fuck. You should give as many fucks as you can about as many things as possible, as long as your capacity and morality lines up with it. Now, it's going to lead people astray and like kind of build like echo chambers sometimes. Like if people go too drastic with it, but you don't have to care. Like if you really do feel like if, on some narcissism stuff, if you feel like you are in the right and you are someone who is of a sound mind and can make good opinions for yourself, people can still disagree with you. And whether you think they're right or wrong, they might be right in their own mind. You might be right in your own mind, but you don't have to sit here and start this like frictionless argument over it. And you don't have to sit here and feel bad about yourself or think poorly upon them. You can literally just live symbiotically with people with different opinions, whether it's over big things or small things. Like we can probably all agree that people shouldn't say racial slurs. But there's some more things that are more like gray area or maybe words from different generations that people can disagree with. And like maybe you should limit them, probably. Maybe you shouldn't say them, probably. But like if you do, is it the end of the world? No. Does someone else think it is? Maybe. But there's so many people you can't individually pander to everybody or care about everybody. You can care about the masses, you can't care about everybody. And that is what it is. I think I got hung up early on just like caring or like not even I was getting offended too much. I was like, you really are upset by this? And it would like turn me into some sort of like not Andrew Tate level stuff, but like you just start you become so disagreeable and you're just sitting there like so miserable and you just come off now you come off as like as like a grump or if not like someone actually dislikable. Just don't. You know, you can be like, oh, you have your opinion, I have mine. That is okay. You know, that's okay. They don't have to like you.
Yeah,
They just shouldn't hate you, if that makes any sense.
no, exactly. Yeah. And I don't know if you have anything that you, I know I'm still a little bit of of a newer creator, but I don't know if you've had any like similar experiences, not necessarily like controversy, but like, you know, just frustrating experiences.
Um, I think for someone who like covers the news, it's there's always going to be topics that are controversial, and there's always going to be takes about specific things that you personally might not agree with, or people might take a context out like out of a situation and maybe twist it the wrong way or twist it into something that's just something that's like frustrating for you, that when you read the comments or someone responds to you saying like, oh, like you're wrong, or this thing happened is dumb or is right. And I think for me, I always have the urge to go into the comment section and respond to all those comments because you feel like you have to have your take in some subjects. But at the end of the day, like you just have to resist doing that, because if you do respond to all those comments and people start arguing with you, it just impacts your mental health, or impacts the way you think about things, or maybe impact you in a way where it's like, I don't want to make content anymore. This is like BS, or like there's too many people who are disagreeing with what I want to say. Sometimes it's just best to ignore it, especially if it's like a situation that's not related to you. Like that's if it is related to you, of course you have to respond. Um, but just learning to not respond to comments that you disagree with. learning to have restraint and just move on to a different topic is something I had to learn. And it's hard, but you just got to do it for your mental health.
And that was honestly great points to kind of end off in terms of like looking towards your own mental health and unintentionally. I mean, they're not what was I planned, but still a great sentiment to end for the viewers. But I guess before I kind of get into wrapping everything up, I quickly wanted to ask if you guys had any kind of like not last words, but like any
To a
quick
threat? Like,
yeah, any last words. I'll see you guys
yeah.
tonight with no. I guess any last the sentiments that you want to kind of like send the viewers off with, but like, short and sweet.
Uh,
we come
I, I-
we
I'll
Go ahead.
I'll
Yeah.
go first, really quick. I think getting into a content creator space is definitely a little bit daunting, especially when you first step into it. But it's 100% worth it if you're really passionate about the process. The If you don't, I think Isaac said this in the way in the beginning, but like if you don't like editing or if you don't like showing your face, then it's not for you. But if you have this passion to cover a topic that you love, regardless of if it's related to esports, it could be related to traditional sports or politics or whatever you have a passion in. I think if you want to do it, then you should definitely do it because the longer you wait, I think Isaac said it too. My God, I'm just copying what you're saying, but
It's the same
the
point.
longer you wait,
No.
the harder it is to get into it. And then when you do get into it, like me, I got into it maybe 6 months ago. I regret not getting into it earlier because I wish I had a 2 year stretch of doing it or a 3 year stretch. I wish I started earlier. So take a leap of faith, get into it. If you love editing, if you love being a Twitch streamer, if you love covering esports, start. The earlier you start, the more fun you'll have. That's it.
There's just more fruit to still pick. Like every day, there's more supply, same amount of demand, maybe slightly more, but like the scales are tipping. Everyone wants to be a content creator, whether it's like the global climate, whatever it is, bro. Like everyone, this is an ideal job that a lot of people like, maybe like fantasize about or idealize, and that's fantastic. Is it all it's made out to be? No, but I don't think it's bad at all. I just think that people really over fantasize about it and don't realize the work it takes to succeed. Um, as long as whatever you think it's going to take to succeed, you should double it, if not triple it. And if you're still willing to like accept that, then this is definitely something you should pursue. You can also do it as a hobby. We're sitting here talking like real hard stuff. Like if this is your hobby thing, then none of this applies to you. Do whatever you want to do. But as for people who like are always, I see this so much. Is just I get the same questions from the same people. Like it's been years, and it's the same people like still trying to do stuff, and I'm confused as to how they're not um moving forward or like like it becomes like stumbling because it's like you've been here for a while, you have all the right resources, like you have to do something. I think they want to. A lot of people want to feel like they're doing something when they're not, and that's just not the right approach for content creation. You need to be doing more than you're feeling. It's not like it's hard. It's just complicated, and you will figure it out if you have half a decent head on your shoulders. And then once you figure that out, it's just hard. You just got to go, and you might work for years and never succeed. This industry isn't just about hard work. It is a little bit about luck. But if you really want it, like there's nothing can stop you. Like genuinely, like nothing can stop you. You can do it just fine. A lot of people have done it. A lot of people are still doing it. A lot more people are coming up every single day. You could be that person. Just understand, like it's gonna be hard, harder than harder to succeed here than it is to succeed in like a regular line of work. But the end of the benefits are significantly better.
Yeah, and I guess on this very sweet and sentimental note, I thank you all for watching our stream. I am going to subset it with a quick shout out to our sponsors who have helped kind of support CIA and made this happen. BMO and One of Zero for BMO to help you focus on what's important. BMO has checking and savings account, credit cards, and borrowing options specifically designed for students. Open a BMO student account and get up to $950 in value, including $175 cash with BMO's current student offers. Visit bmo.com/students for details. And you can also type in exclamation point BMO in the chat for more details. And as for One of Zero, the One of Zero has supplied CIE with 6 gaming mice that make you better at what you do. Type exclamation point raffle in chat for a chance to win one of 6 gaming mice supplied by One of Zero. Code like a maniac, design like a guru, and game like an assassin. Take pride in your setup and look good while you achieve it all. Discover your inspiration, defy definition, be One of Zero. To learn more, type exclamation point One of Zero in chat. That's one a numerical of zero, numerical zero. But yes, that's my broadcaster voice. But yes, again, thank you, Isaac L, for joining us and or for joining me, letting me pick your guys' head and ask you guys a bunch of questions about you. I guess it was fun to be able to sit and do this with you guys.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And of course, folks, don't worry. We will have more content coming in, even though the panel is over. Up next, we do have the State of Esports Education panel, which, if you are in the Pacific time zone, oh my goodness, it is at 2 p.m. And if you're in the Eastern time zone, it is at 5 p.m. But for now, we will be piecing out from the stream. And again, thank you guys so much for watching and for listening from us, tuning into this panel. And yeah, we will see you soon. See, we'll see you again very soon if we kick off the next of the panels.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you.